3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry if there's a slight delay at the start of the video, it's not an exact science. So let's get into this. I'm back again for another VOD review. This time it will be H2k versus Vitality from week 3 of the EU LCS, with H2k being on the blue side and Vitality being on the red side. So straight out of the bat, H2k banned Kalista, and the response to that is Vitality banning the Lucian. The Kalista ban is a very smart ban at the moment. She's one of the only Blade of the Ruined King building AD carries. She's just pretty strong in general and is a pretty good ban. Lucian's just a forgiven ban, target ban. Shen being an Odawamne and Vander ban. It's a good flex pick for this team, great map control, works really well into H2k's kind of Korean-esque playstyle. Elise, it's a shook ban, puts him on a weaker, like he from I think 3 of his games or something, 3-4 of his games have been on Elise, so it's a target ban. Personally, what this screams to me is that H2k want to either force him onto Lee Sin or pick up a Graves themselves. So this Corki is a very good ban, however it does open up the Gangplank. They do get the Lulu in response, but as much as I love Lulu, Gangplank is too strong of a pick to leave open. So this is a really smart pick and ban by H2k, because not only do they trade the power pick that they want, they also managed to ban away the one pick that can counter it with Fiora, so that's very smart. So the Misfortune, I love Misfortune. I think people give her a really hard rep. She got a bit of bonus damage, base damage knocked off of her E, but her ultimate, like the zone the E creates plus the ultimate, is ridiculous damage. People really seem to be forgetting that that's why you pick her. I like zone at the moment, zone and poke and control, and going for towers. Towers are more important at the moment. They're very, very strong to play around in the meta, with Dragon being not the best, games being shorter, this sort of thing. So towers to me are very important, and if you play around towers, such as H2k do, and this Vitality team's probably going to look to do, it's very strong. So I wouldn't have taken the Misfortune here. I would have either taken the Graves or the Alistar away. This just gives H2k you know, it gives you the Alistar, which is an immortal frontline for a support and such a vital pickup. So, I mean, how H2k have managed to get 3 power picks here, I think you take the Lulu on the red side. Personally, I would have left the Lucian up. I mean, it's an annoying champion, it's Forgiven's like best champion. Or I would have, no, would you leave the Shen up? I don't know. The Shen gives you more options, but I mean, you can play around a Shen. I think you can play around the Lucian with some zone and some AoE. So I don't think the Lucian's a necessary ban. The Corki's definitely a necessary ban. Corki's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. But it means you've given away, especially with the Misfortune pick in the first rotation, you've given away Alistar and Graves. So the Morgana here, just to protect from the Alistar, it's a good counter. Maybe they feel they can counter the Alistar, but I think Alistar gives too much to your team comp at the moment to ban him, to give him away and not to ban him. I think if you don't ban him, you have to be so sure that you're going to get Alistar. So let's see if I'm even broadcasting. Yes, I am. So on top of this, the Rek'Sai, I think the Rek'Sai comes through. This means they're leaving the Lulu as a flex, and leaving either the top or mid to be decided. Now, I'm pretty dead sure, looking at some other games and doing some other analysis I've done, that Nuke Duck always goes Lulu. So this just is going to be a blind pick top. So this here is so smart. If like Vitality, I'm truly like, they managed to get. I don't agree with the Caitlyn here. I think there's a better pick you can take. I can see it into the Misfortune, and I can see it into this. They're looking for kind of a siege AoE kind of compy sort of thing with high wave clear and nice kind of rotations and things. It's a very good comp this. I don't like the Caitlyn. I think there's a better pick here. I think personally Jinx is a better pick here. I think Jinx is just a better Caitlyn, and Also, I think Tristana into this is a better pick just due to her natural range and her natural escapability into this kind of zone, and this, it's so low frontline there. So like they've got a Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai can't be a frontline on her own. You need like an Alistar, you need a Nautilus, you need, something else that can just be I'm a tank. Now they picked the Olaf here, and so what this means is they've got two lanes that they want to get ahead, being the Olaf, being the Misfortune, and they're going to leave the Lulu just to wave clear in mid. Now this is a nice thing, but I don't like. I think Rek'Sai is a great pick here. I think you need to, if you're running this, you're focusing around the Misfortune, protect the Misfortune, wave clear, sieging up. You need to take something that's big, bulky, and sieges up in the mid lane. Olaf doesn't do this. It's a wishy-washy. It's playing around Cabochard in his carry-orientated top lane, like kind of thing. This is why for me he's a very overrated player. Not that he's not a mechanically gifted player, and he's a good player, but he very much weakens their draft unless they play around him with his split push. I think like split push is strong at the moment if you get the right champions, such as a Gangplank, such as a Fiora, such as a Shen, things like this. But the main problem for me comes when your whole draft is revolved around this, and Vitality to me are very stagnant, and they rely on their 1v1 or lane dominant like plays to be able to win the game. How they've managed to give up 4 power picks in today's meta is completely beyond me. It's just a terrible, terrible draft. Like, okay, what would have been a better draft was if you take the so yes, maybe you're fine, you give away the Gangplank. Personally, I wouldn't. I think he's too strong. But you give away the Gangplank, okay? Let's take this as a hypothetical. You take away the Gangplank. You take Lulu. Why are you then taking the Misfortune? Are you that like insecure about Hyanan's champion pool that all he can play is Tristana, Misfortune, and Callista? Is that all he can play? Well, you're kind of screwed then, because you've then given up another power pick. You should have taken the Graves, because you know they want Graves. You should have taken a Lissandra or an Alistar. These are better picks than this Misfortune here in the first rotation. You can take something else. Their draft was very inflexible. Also, if you leave the Corki up, if you're going to leave these up, and you take away something like a Lissandra or a Graves, you then allow yourself to, if they take the Corki, you take Gangplank and Lulu. You've got 2 of the strongest picks in the game. I think, okay, so here they're gonna, it's so dumb to do that. Blind going in, that must be something from scrims, and he fails the flash. Give it to the Gangplank. Oh, they give it to the Graves. Okay, I would have given that to the Gangplank personally. But yeah, so this means that Odoamne is gonna get free farm here. So they rotate there, they do the lane swap up here with Graves moving down this way into the jungle. This means that the bot lane's so far behind. That to me screams that was something that they did in scrims, or they've kind of sussed out that's what they do, and they're always looking to lane swap. From what I've seen of Vitality, they're usually lane swapping to the top side, so they go bot, top, that tower. It's very kind of, from what I've seen, they're very predictable in their movements, and this is something you should avoid to do. Okay, yeah, Keystone's here. I think more people need to be going. I think further battle's good on certain champions, especially in AD carry role. I mean, like, I think Callista it's better on than Thunderlords, but a lot of the times you want it for the lane potential, because you do enough damage late game anyway. Like getting through the lane and getting to the mid game with a power spike is what you need it for. And you don't get it on the creep stacks anymore. So the Burno Dewamne's flash here, that's a very smart thing to do. But Graves is on his way down here, probably just reciprocate the gank and get a thing. Shook's going to roam here. This is why Rek'Sai is so good. You can just get so much vision without actually doing anything. Very strong champion at the moment. It's good Graves clear, but now Shook's a bit overextended. Graves can 1v1 a Rek'Sai. It's a bit annoying that this keeps coming up. If anyone can tell me of a different thing I can use, like a free kind of software that I can use for that, that would be, mucho grando. That would be great. So basically what's going to happen here is they've got the 2v2 in the top lane with, I I mean, Alistar is countered by Morgana technically, but I'd say Caitlyn counters thing, especially it being Forgiven as well. Forgiven is such a strong laner. He's an absolute beast. He's probably like the most mechanically gifted AD carry outside of Korea or China. Probably even better than China. He's an absolute monster in terms of AD carry position and what he does. So Rek'Sai's doing Rek'Sai things, getting vision, putting tunnels around the map, being unseen, getting vision. It's good. It's good pathing. The mid lane is just a farm palooza, and this is why picking Lulu can be a very dangerous thing. Unless you can suss out where it's going to go and you use it to nullify a lane, you can get picked into a Lulu, and because Lulu's a null lane, and what I mean by a null lane is Lulu's going to sit there, glitter lance the waves and just push it in and do whatever, you're basically going to allow someone to either have a free lane where normally they'd have a problem, or you just allow them to pick a safe pick like you are. Which, you know, it's so instead of using the Lulu to your advantage, you're getting the advantage turned on you. So I think why Lulu's so strong is for that fact that she nullifies a lane, and by doing this you can then allow yourself to flex and last pick something that's you know, very strong, or you kind of, you know, if say, or use it as a counter pick for certain things. Get 1v1 by a Lulu boy. Yeah, I'm not going to go into like micro things here, because that's just, if you want to watch the play, pause it and look back at it or whatever. Like, I'm not going to go over play-by-play stuff here. I'm going over the kind of the macro decisions and the draft and the team comp and the decision making and stuff. So, what was I talking about? So, like, Lulu will just nullify a lane for you. It's kind of like a Victor, and Lissandra does it to some aspect, and that's why they're really strong flex picks, because you can basically say, no, this one's going mid. They will completely like shut down a lane and stop them from roaming or getting an advantage anywhere around the map. Sorry, I've got something like really kind of, I've not talked a lot today, so thank Jesus for coffee. So what this means is you can, if you allow them to have a Lulu, you need to have a pick that can go against a Lulu and have a free lane and maybe goes down 20 CS. But I mean, realistically, like, I love Lulu. Lulu is one of my favourite champions in competitive and to play. I think she's a great pick. I think she does a lot of good things. She's always safe. But the problem is that can be turned around against you. So you need to be careful when you pick Lulu. It's not just a... It's like the same with any pick. That's a bad gangplank ultimate. A miscommunication there, but it was good gank. You shouldn't be going blind there at all. It was too, like... I have to agree with Thorin and Monte Cristo with their response. It's probably one of my favourite responses to "Do you think this play is good?" in one of their things, which was "What do you think of H2k's bot lane?" And they responded with, "Kasing's good." I think that says a lot, and I agree. I think Hyanan would be very, very lost without his Kasing. So yeah, that's just my opinion though. So the Olaf needs to get ahead here, and he's got 30 CS lead. But the thing about Gangplank is, it's just a matter of time. You literally have to. It's this kind of the same thing as like in solo queue with an Aurelia or a Jax or a Nasus to the same extent, but not like you can shut down a Nasus harder. But I mean, they're gonna get a Triforce. It's only a matter of time. You can only shut them down for so long. You know, it's kind of, they get an item and then it kind of snowballs from that point. So I think you have to watch out. I mean, Olaf's got an early lead, but I mean, Gangplank's just made up 10 CS there. So Forgiven showing his lane dominance. He's got about 20 CS lead. Mid lane's down a little bit, but it's pretty even across the board. I'd say that Vitality's kind of winning the early game, but they've got a stronger early game comp. While H2k's comp kind of, it scales later and is kind of matches it in the mid game with Lissandra and Graves and Caitlyn. Nah, Caitlyn kind of falls off in the mid game. It's kind of, yeah. So what basically they're looking to do here is they're using to abuse the Caitlyn range, and they're just farming. Forgiven will out farm Hyanon any day of the week. He's just a superior player. A really good pickup by H2k to fill out this squad, especially with a good support like Vander. So Rek'Sai, it's what Rek'Sai brings to a team. It's a very, very good pick. What am I? So they're looking for a gank here. They've snuck into the top. I think they might know it. Yeah, they know about this. So Shook goes and takes his red buff. You should always look to do this as a jungler. If you look and see if you know when your enemy jungler's on the top side, go and invade, make a gank bot lane, do something. They're looking to snuff out this gangplank at the moment, but I mean you can only do so much. But wow, that Graves damage though. Good flash. Makes. It was a good flash by the gangplank because he made. So he didn't give up a kill for free. He got flash for flash, which I mean you have to get something for if you die. So wasn't the worst. I've seen worse deaths. It was pretty bad getting caught out like that. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You're farming. It's a gangplank. 30 CS down. Wombo combo. It's the happy Feeboy forgiven. So knowing this, the mid laner now Selfie should play safe. And he's kind of shoved out, but he knows Graves is there. Graves is better in the old 2v2. I'd say H2k at the moment in the mid lane have a stronger 2v2 even with Lula, and now they don't. He got poked to hell. Yeah, if I was H2k here, I'd swap my top laner into the mid lane and rotate the Lissandra because she's safer in the split push. But you do give up mid pressure at that point. It's a hard one. So H2K's won the split push. They've got down this tower. They've done really well. They've focused around this. What this then allows them to do is come take this tower, and because they've got this tower, they can then take the dragon. While H2K might get the Rift Herald or might look to go mid. Now, by getting the dragon, you then actually give yourself about 1,000 more gold than you usually would. And here comes a Graves gank. They just chunk him. They're just looking for him to back off. He can't stay, so now they can come and get this tower. So they then what they then do is they then get this dragon. If you want to know how much a dragon's worth, you should go check out my video on the worth of a dragon. Shameless plug. But what that does is it then allows them to then have like an artificial about 1,000 gold lead on top of what they've already got, on top of being even in towers. So they do this, and they should go for the dragon after this. They really should, because they're both going to be basing. They're gonna go for the tier 2. It's okay as oh, they actually stopped the tower on top. Oh, that's very smart then. So they stopped the tower here with the gangplank ultimate, which is very smart, because then it allows them to put pressure up here, and then they can go for the dragon. So they might even get this. If they get this, this is phenomenal. Right, okay, so they should back off now, and they should go do dragon, because they're basing up here and they know they're going to base, so now's the time to do it. Nope, they're basing. Okay, well they could have got the dragon, and they could have got a bit more of an artificial lead and come mid and taken that. That would have been my idea of, you know, doing it. Because basically what they're both looking to siege, but they're looking to do it in different ways. So getting down this tier 1 mid is so important at the moment. It's not, they're both not really poke comps, they're siege comps. So they're looking to zone out and get stuff. Oh, the one that's too far forward here. Oh, that just missed. Oh wow, good teleport, well done. Well done, my son. That was a good teleport. I don't know actually if slows interrupt that. Not 100% sure. But Cabot it's so top for top teleport. Forgiven's in bot getting free farm. I'm surprised they didn't put any priority around the dragon. Our first dragon is really good for siege and poke comps. If you look at career, whenever anyone plays a poke comp, they're always going for the early first dragon. So they're looking to take the top thing here, but he's got support. They should look to delay this as long as they can. Here comes the good disengage there by the Lissandra, who's managed to keep up well with the Lulu and getting harassed into tower. It's very, very good. Gangplank's just looking to get as much farm as he can. Caitlyn needs to watch out here. They should know that the Rek'Sai's probably around there if he's not in top side. He's just looking to protect the Olaf, and this is kind of what I mean by Cabashard kind of being a big drain actually on vitality. Like, for every game he kind of carries and gets Fiora, there's another game where he'll kind of, have to be played around, and it doesn't really fit into the comp. Like, he's not playing a split push Malphite that can TP in and stop a siege, or something like this. He's playing he's playing an Olaf who'll just charge in. So, for every I don't like having to draft around someone who's a bit of a kind of, I only play these champions, guys. Like, I feel that like the great players will play anything that's the best thing for the team. And I rate those players higher than, even if they're worse mechanically, than someone who just demands to get Olaf or Gangplank or something. Of course, it's great to have those champions. It's equally as bad to not be able to play those champions, like the power picks. But then it's as bad to not be able to play a Shen or a Malphite if your team needs it, and to always be on some sort of threat, because it kind of takes away. It stops you from playing so many. It kind of really limits your draft. So they use the Misfortune ult defensively there to get rid of the wave. So here's the difference between the Rek'Sai and the Graves. The Graves has looked for kills and has got 2 kills and 20 less farm, 25 less farm, while the Rek'Sai's got more farm and got an assist. So this is what the Rek'Sai should be doing. It's fine. Like, Rek'Sai's good for this. So they're just looking to siege up. This is pretty smart. They might give up the tier. They probably won't give up the tier 1, so it's a very good rotation here. It's very poor wall control there by H2k. They should take the mid and the dragon off this. They should save the mid and take the dragon off this. Mute Duck has to back. They might actually get the mid lane off this. The gold's actually very surprisingly close considering they got a tier 2. It's just the Olaf who's up. Yeah. It's actually not up by far. That's very surprising. So they get back. So this gold is now a lie. This gold's actually about 2,900 or something ish, 2,800 and a half, something like that. So this is they've actually got a gold lead now, and they just need to look to defend this mid. And if this mid falls, then Vitality have a way back into the game. This game's kind of down to whoever can get the tier 1 down fastest in mid. The problem with Vitality's comp is there's kind of offensive siege, but there's no defensive siege in this comp. There's no kind of big zoning kind of. There's no kind of big zone kind of Trundle pillar, or a kind of a like a big Tam Kench, or something like kind of a Victor or something. Like Lulu does an alright job at it. Lulu's okay. But there's nothing there. If they get sieged upon, they have to burn all their siege to counter that siege. While H2k can just go Lissandra Graves and everything's Gucci. So yeah, I just think the Olaf really screws over the comp. Like, yeah, he's split pushing, but I mean, there's only so much a DPS Olaf can do. It's why I really don't like CLG's comps. I think it works when you get like a Fiora. You basically say we're going to split push because Fiora, or if you can play Jax or something, kind of unmatched. But if you don't get that champion, you need to say, right, I'm playing something like supportive. I'm playing something that's a little bit kind of. So you can like, people seem to have this kind of really negative attitude on what can and can't carry, and people really need to watch for actually what happened in a fight. So I'll try and point it out in a fight here if something happens. So it might be like the pressure gained from a certain champion or something, or some like the jungler might apply pressure that actually makes them win the fight. But everyone will just be looking at someone who made a few dodges. Like the Origin game from last week that they won, that was a prime example. Like, yes, Sven made a great dodge, but I felt like the actual draft and the rotations made by the team and the front line coming in actually won that fight, because I feel like Vitality, was it Vitality they played? It was something like that, would have actually just collapsed and just ended up killing them anyway. Was it H2k? It might have been H2k. So they're trying to flank to break the siege here, but they just don't have it. Like, they've got, you know, yeah. So it's a really bad. They don't really have like a big beefy tank, and the Lulu wasn't there. Was the Lulu there? Where the hell was Lulu? Yeah, she's off at the side. She was nowhere near that, so she couldn't then like make the Olaf huge or something. Like, Olaf Lulu is a good combination, but I wouldn't rely on Olaf to be your front line in the meta at the moment. So they come in, yeah, great disengage there by H2k, dodging everything, really telegraphed by Vitality what they were going to do. It's like, Lulu's nowhere on the map. Well, she must just be hiding around the corner. Yeah, so look, Lulu's not even there. Lulu's in top lane, and they come in here. They come in for this, and it's so binary how they're going to go that things like Lissandra, who are just ultimately better picks than what they've picked, like with the Olaf, just completely stop them from coming in. So it's a very, it's a very smart play then. Like, you really shouldn't rely on a Rek'Sai and an Olaf to be your engage. They're so like, I run at you. You know? It's really binary what they're gonna do. It's like, I'm gonna sit here or I'm gonna run at you. You need something that's a bit kind of, oh, what just happened? Like, the same way you shouldn't rely on a flash for your engage, you shouldn't rely on like a ghost Olaf, because if the team's smart, they'll just run away, and then it's kind of, well, we can't do anything now. This is what I mean about them not having any counter siege. The counter siege is picking a fight, but they don't then have anything that can pick a fight. That's why I don't really like their draft very much. So I don't know if you guys noticed this from watching my videos, but I like drafts and the kind of the way that champions. Maybe I'll make a video explaining what I mean by a lot of this stuff, and kind of like the kind of almost the chess of drafts, like kind of the strategy and the logic behind it and what you should and shouldn't be doing. Maybe I'll make that to kind of explain it to people, so people actually have a better understanding of what makes a good draft and what doesn't make a good draft. It's very logical based and very kind of hiding, while also, it's very interesting. So it's all about this tier 1 now. They're getting the Gangplank big. The Gangplank's got a power spike with a Trinity Force. The Olaf's still building up, even though he's got more gold. Lissandra's in a power spike at the moment. Caitlyn's coming out of her power trough because she's got an IE and a long shot, so she's not as terrible now. I personally, into this team comp, would have gone for a Runan's Hurricane, because it means she gets her headshot passive faster. It's a bit like AD Cannon in that respect. Graves is just strong, full stop. So, I mean, they've got the power spike here, so they really should be taking this. But if you notice, they're slowly but surely chipping away. They finally got, they did get the mid tower. Oh, I'm imagining things. But now they're just looking to push side lanes in and just pick a fight. But the problem is that Vitality just don't have any anti-siege, so they're looking for a dragon here. But I mean, Lissandra's got TP. Lissandra should TP in here. Are they just going to give it up? Okay, so they're going to rotate mid and take that instead. So that's a smart move. Gangplank's going to base so that he can get the teleport in, but they're going to out-rotate them here. They're going to look to get the top tier. Yeah, this is smart, because now what this allows is, with the other tier 2 gone, it then allows them to then siege up mid. So you kind of push the out and come back in. I remember it being called once the octopus formation or something. I remember seeing that on Reddit once. It's called like the octopus formation, where you kind of push in and come out. So they've kind of pushed the sides and then they're going to come in. So they're gonna, yeah, see the anti-siege here comes from the gangplank with the zone. They can't, like, they can siege, but I think H2k have A, better siege, and B, better counter siege, so they should look at, I think they do win. I think I remember reading that they did win. But this is why they won. It's not to do with kind of being outplayed 1v1. I think that's what people seem to, like, this is kind of a hangover from, like, maybe Season 3 and stuff, where you could. It's a lot more about the team comp and the draft. And what you allow, like, for example, Giants actually lose like, not every team's like Giants. Giants actually draft okay with their team comp. Their pick ban isn't great, but they have okay comps. They just don't play them very well. So how long's left on this game here? Quite a long time. So I might skip it forward a bit. Let's skip it forward a little bit here. What's happening? So nothing much else has happened. They're still looking to siege the. They should be looking to siege the mid here. Let's skip it forward a bit more. Yeah. Oh, they got a kill. H2k managed to get a kill. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really mean much. They're still just looking to siege up, and then they're going to get away. Well played, Lissandra. So they've still got the tier mid one, and this is the difference between the comps. This is what both comps need to do, and H2k just did it better because they understand macro more than Vitality do. But Vitality are playing a macro comp. The way you beat this siege is through great teleport flanks and great disengage, with also having amazing kind of wave clear. And this is why I don't like this Olaf pick, because you're playing split push into siege. And if you play it's you need to flank better, so you need to wait around the thing, so you need better wave clear in the mid. So by them not allowing almost the Lulu to go top lane or even support, what ends up happening is you're then forced into this 1-4, and if they're 5 in the mid lane, you're like, oh, I can split push top, but they'll just take your mid, and the rest of your team comp is getting around the same thing that they're doing, but they'll do it as 5 and you'll do it as, you know. And the gangplank can always answer this Olaf, and this is the problem. The gangplank is a stronger pick than the Olaf in the 1v1. So they take the second dragon here. Yeah, it's very kind of, this game is very, I feel like H2k could have forced the issue a bit here, but if you're a team and you think you can win, you should play it out slowly. I think you can learn to play it out quicker, but I mean, I don't think it's, I wouldn't fault them. I'd say it's something you need to practice, but they are new together, so I can see, you know, you can forgive them, but I think you should play this out quicker. So both teams are 1-4-1 at the moment. H2k still have their tier 1 because there's not much, like, they can just go with the, you know, Graves Lissandra, while Vitality kind of have to sort of, you know, they have to get a pick and kind of teleport in and sort of do all this stuff. And this is what I keep talking about when I say, like, you shouldn't pick a comp based off the best case scenario. And this is what I see a lot in NA, is people are like, oh, and then we'll get an Ari charm and we'll do this, and, you know, we'll you know, and then our fight will come in. It's like, just pick like a comp that does something and then have like countermeasures in place. So say if H2k went behind in this game, they've got the range of Caitlyn, they've got the Graves Lissandra wave clear, and they've got a gangplank as kind of almost like insurance for the late game. Well, what do Vitality have? Well, they've kind of maybe got a really good team fight, and I would argue H2k actually have a better team fight. So I don't really like, I don't think they've played around the Lulu pick enough, or the Misfortune, which is very sad to me. So they're looking to yeah, they're just looking to split push at the moment. And this is all Vitality do. If you look at all of Vitality's games, Kabashar goes off off to a side lane, and they just look to split push. So it's very binary, and it's kind of sad. Like, I think you can play split push, but you can't only play split push in the current meta. And if you do, you'll just get found out. you will just get found out. So they look at they're having to really force the issue, and they just can't because Graves Lissandra has too much wave clear. And if you put Lissandra on Vitality's team instead of the Olaf, you have such a better comp. And they could have. But instead they chose to pick, you know, like... Sorry. And instead they chose to pick an Olaf. Instead of, you know... Well, they chose to pick the Misfortune instead of, like, the Lissandra or the Graves. And then, like, they could have had this comp. That's all I'm saying. Like... If you're... Yeah... I don't really agree. So I might do that. I might tell me if you think that'd be a great idea in the comments below, or just like the video or something. If you think like maybe just going over the drafts for the week, because I don't really, maybe finding a spot in the game that kind of showcases what I'm talking about. Or if people actually want to see a whole VOD review, I might just do the drafts of the week and then do the games or something. Tell me what you think at the moment. Tell me what you think, because this game's kind of going along and I don't really have a lot to say, because that's kind of what I focus on with these. Because I mean, if you want to learn about the micro game, just play the game and watch people individually. I don't think like this kind of LCS format actually allows you to watch a player. I like that ESL kind of has that kind of, you can just watch someone, so it allows you to look at their micro game and how they play a fight. And the Riot casters do a good job of telling you how they played out a fight, but they don't really do a good job, in my opinion, of kind of talking through the kind of nuances. I think Monte Cristo and Papa Smithy and Doa do that a lot better in the LCK. They do a lot better of a job of kind of explaining when a game is over and why it's over and stuff. So H2k are looking to use their power spike here and take this mid lane. And it looks like they're just going to go back to farming. So, yeah, they just went back to farming. I just skipped it for like 2 minutes, so here we go, here's a fight. Or is there? Is there a fight? No. Okay. I'm not one of those people that needs, like, there to be fights every minute. I don't like China for as a region for that, but, you know. So, just looking to get a fight here, H2k. Vitality just looking to force the issue. They might go too far forward here and force the issue. Here comes the re-engage Gangplank ultimate, and then here comes the Lissandra flank, who just manages to ult. Okay, wow. So the AD carries are staying safe at the back because they've got a bigger front line than Vitality do. They just blow up the Olaf, and then Forgiven does what Forgiven does. Wow, that was such a good fight. There's a cat wanting to get out, but this game's almost done, I think. So H2k just storming down the mid lane here. I don't know what the hell Shook is doing here. Is he looking to delay waves, but they've got enough of a recruit wave to thing. Wow. Double AD comps. This is why you play double AD comps, and they've also got a Gangplank as well. It's just huge. They just looked for their moment and they took it, and that's such a smart ending. So that's the end of the game. H2k just played out the comp a lot better. So thanks for watching. There's a cat that wants to be let out, so I need to go and do that. I'll see you guys later.